It is Sunday morning and almost everyone in the town is at the weekly fair buying vegetables and fruits. Professor Biosafety, who is a scientist from the Crop Research Institute, went to the fair to buy some vegetables. She meets Nimal, who is a first-year undergraduate student studying commerce in the nearby university. Good morning, madam.
Good morning, Nimal. Nice to see you.
You always come here to buy vegetables?
Yes, they have many different varieties of vegetables. I was involved in the development of many of these.
Many vegetables and fruits look fine, but some have holes, looks infested by pests.
Best to develop good hybrid varieties resistant to pests and diseases. So far, we have not been able to develop vegetables resistant to many pests.
Are the farmers using pesticides to control the pests?
Some do, but many don't because pesticides are expensive and farmers also know that they're harmful to people and nature.
So what can be done?
Farmers around the world face this problem. Perhaps one way to overcome this is to use modern biotechnology.
I have heard about biotechnology, but what is modern biotechnology? How can it help to get pest-free brinjals, for example?
I'm sure you're familiar with genes that we inherit from our parents that make us look like them.
Let me refresh my understanding on genes. You're talking about the segments of DNA inside the cells of living organisms that are responsible in producing specific proteins to give different characteristics, right? Like our eye color and height.
Yes, modern biotechnology can make changes to genes in an organism to obtain desired and beneficial qualities. Using this technology, we can produce fruits and vegetables such as brinjals that are resistant to pests and diseases.
But madam, I saw in social media that food produced through genetic modification can harm our health. Is this true?
Not really. Genetically modified organisms or GMOs that are available in the market have been tested thoroughly before approving for consumption.
How do we make brinjals resistant to brinjal borer? How are the genes modified?
Scientists found that a common soil bacterium called Bacillus thuringiensis or BT produces a protein that is toxic to brinjal borer. This gene can be extracted and inserted into the brinjal cells. The new gene from BT becomes part of the brinjal genes and will start making the same protein that will kill the borers when they eat brinjals. So the farmers don't have to spray pesticides to control the brinjal borers.
That's amazing. But isn't the protein harmful?
No, this protein only becomes active in an alkaline gut system. But our stomach is extremely acidic, so the protein is destroyed. And it is also very specific to the brinjal borer and other lepidopterans, which is the same order as the borers. It doesn't kill other types of insects, especially beneficial ones such as dragonflies and bees.
That's good to hear. But how do you insert the new gene into plant cells?
This can be done through many methods. One is that the gene can be physically pushed into the cell using a gene gun. Alternatively, a bacterium called agrobacterium can be used to deliver the foreign gene into the plant cells.
We cannot see the DNA, so how can we differentiate between GMOs and non-GMOs?
You cannot differentiate between them from appearance unless new characteristics are visible. However, there are molecular testing methods for this.
Modern biotechnology seems very useful. How are GMOs tested to ensure they are safe for us, animals, and the environment?
We conduct various tests. We do feeding studies using animals to check for possible negative effects such as allergies and toxicity. Field trials are done to see if there are negative impacts on biodiversity. We even test to see if the pollen can travel far to cross-pollinate wild varieties. GM crops are only approved if there are no negative impacts to humans, animals, and the environment. It takes about 10 to 15 years to check all these.
But what if some scientists don't follow all this and try to sell new varieties to the farmers?
Oh, Nimal, they can't do that. Unlike conventionally bred crops, GM crops cannot reach the farmers without approval. Say, if I develop a GM crop, I will have to apply for permission from the relevant authority. They will check my work in the lab, in the field, and other relevant test reports. If they are satisfied with all the tests, only then my GM crop will be approved.
Oh, that's a lot of work. But it's good that there is a proper mechanism to ensure GMOs are safe. Who is responsible for this in Sri Lanka?
The ministry in charge of environment is the national focal point for biosafety. The National Competent Authority regulating GMOs is under this ministry.
Why the Ministry of Environment?
Ministry in charge of environment is the focal point for Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety and the Convention on Biological Diversity. Sri Lanka is one of the 36 biodiversity hotspots in the world. It is very important that we protect our biodiversity while ensuring food security.
How can we protect biodiversity through biosafety?
Before a GM plant is grown, several field trials should be carried out to ensure environmental safety.
Is everyone legally bound to ensure that biodiversity is not destroyed?
Yes, laws like the Plant Protection Act, Food Act and Feed Act have provisions to ensure this. In fact, there will soon be a specific act for biosafety as part of our national commitment towards the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety.
What is the Cartagena Protocol?
It is an international agreement to ensure the safe handling, transport and use of GMOs that may have adverse effects on the biodiversity, environment and human health.
When did Sri Lanka sign the protocol?
Sri Lanka signed the protocol in 2000 and ratified in 2004. We are one of over 170 countries that have entered into this agreement.
Does this mean that our biodiversity will be in safe hands?
Definitely. As a country, we must follow what we agreed to ensure biosafety of Sri Lanka. Scientists like me will not want to destroy our biodiversity or cause harm to consumers.
Are there any national documents describing our national policy on biosafety in Sri Lanka?
Yes, the National Policy on Biosafety and the National Biosafety Framework, approved by the Cabinet of Ministers in 2005, are available online.
Where can I find more information about biosafety?
Google Biosafety Clearinghouse. There you will find more information about biosafety.
How about biosafety information related to our country?
If you go to lk.biosafetyclearinghouse.net website, you will find information related to Sri Lanka, including resources and material to learn more about this subject.
I learned so much today, and it is highly relevant to me as a consumer. Bye, madam.
Have a good day, Nimal. Bye.